When I get there, I'll explain them to you. So, just something I know. Carrying iron, I've seen players do this a lot. Carrying spare supplies that you just do not seem to need or use or require. Like iron ore. What's the point of carrying iron ore around with you? Iron plates? Yes, you need iron plates. They're useful, but I can't smelt iron ore in my infantry. There. So I might as well get them into a furnace, get them working for me. Right, so get some power up to there, but not enough to switch them on. Because I've got down here to power, I've got the furnaces to power. Furnaces don't require power, but the inserters for them do, because I'm relying on electric inserters. Now, if you've seen quite a few other people play this game, you will see them use burner inserters. Waste of time, they don't get upgraded. I'll power them on because coal can take a while, and also it's kind of the last leg going up here. It's all different playstyles though. I'm not saying using burner inserters is wrong, I'm saying I just don't use them. I don't use them later, I don't use them now. And they can't get upgraded, so they sit in an infantry gathering dust while you go, well, what do I do now? So what's the point of building them in the first place? The only reason why I build burner inserters is because it's quicker to have 3 of them working for you rather than moving one of them from place to place. Simply put, it just works out like that. So he's loading that up with coal now. So we'll come back over here and we'll select these and we'll get these guys working. And we'll take all the coal out of them. Move that down here. I suppose I need some more of them as well. Inserters go in number 3. Don't ask why, they just do. And we will... I'll build as close to the power pole as I can because it's very rare that I'll actually go back and upgrade these power poles. The basic ones do a necessary job. So as you can see, that's got them ones there. Oop. Just a bit of a mash on the keyboard there. So when I move the furnaces, he'll actually become useful again, as you'll see. Pouring out plenty of coal, pouring out plenty of iron. We'll grab you, grab you. Literally no point you guys being there anymore. Run all the way back over here. There you go. He's powered up. Get another one there. Finish off. And now we're really cooking with gas here. Now I'm going to want a copper stream up there. I'd like to keep all my factories kind of in one central location. Looks like they ran out of coal. So what we'll do is we'll just throw a full stack in there. A full stack in there. We'll grab that. And we'll let that smelt. So I'm going to need some more poles. How many should I build? Just build that many. Right clicking builds 5. Quite a nice little tip if you just need 5 of something, so on and so forth. So as you can see, 2 miners is enough to power about 4 1/3. Sometimes this will get iron, sometimes it'll just sit there idling. By the looks of it, most of the time it's going to sit there and idle, but it allows me to have, there we go, it allows me to have that little bit of overflow capacity, if you like. So nothing's just sat on the belt doing nothing, everything's working all the time. That's pretty much key to the game. Once you've mastered that, you pretty much have everything. Right, time to put this wooden box and this performance. I suppose I really should check on the electricity. So this is the electricity screen. We're using up varying amounts of power, and this is when the miners go. When this one jumps, it means the miners have become active again, so another miner's just become active. That's why the power spiked. When it drops again, it's one of the miners is idling. So this is what I said earlier about Don't build too many miners, otherwise you're just gonna kill your power before you even get going. Basically, just don't overexpand too quickly. We've got our production on this side. As long as the consumption bar is more full than the production bar, you're good. Now, as you can see, I probably just hit max there, so it looks like I could start doing with another engine kicking in. I've already got the boilers, I've already got the coal. Sticking on 2 more engines on here will not be a problem. But for now, let's look again some automated stone harvesting. So what I need, really, is to get my box down. And then I need that there, and I need that there. And then we'll go gather up some coal and get that powered. Doo-doo-doo. 2 full stacks. And let that fill up with stone. Stone's always useful. You can turn them into stone walls later. That'll help you keep the bugs out. Keep your turrets alive. Things like that. So, we don't want to overfill this network at the moment with too many furnaces, too much going on. We're doing quite well. What I do want to do is get copper up there. So shift left click in does all 82. Useful, but I've now got to wait before I can place any down on these gears to finish. So it can be annoying to say the least. Copper to begin with, not useful. In the end game, you will be going through so much copper, you will probably end up with 4 to 5 times more copper farms than you will iron farms. Simply as you just cannot get enough into your factory. Electronic plates is used throughout the entire game. Everything requires wire or electronic blah blah blah. I've forgotten the name now. Electronic circuits. I was going to say electronic cards. I suppose that's sort of correct. Right, so we're going to want a couple of furnaces to link this system into. We're also getting a rough map of what I want. Something to go up here, then up here. Now I'm going to need to research, and I'll show you all the research in a moment, because I'm going to want to go underneath one of these tracks rather than around it. Although I could go around it, there's nothing stopping me from going around it. I think it'd be better to go underneath the tracks. So, we're sitting on quite a lot of conveyors at the moment, as they just finished there. We're going to need at least one. We'll get another steam engine just in case. And if I can find it, we're going to want a laboratory. So I'll click that so it starts producing. We'll leave the miner just sitting there, and we'll leave the engine just sitting there for a moment while I explain. If I found the right button, T. So this is your list of technologies. As you can see, the game pauses behind you. You feel free at your leisure to explore this to its maximum. A lot of players start off with automation for the assembling machine, so it can automatically craft things for you. I prefer the logistics because that gives you the underground belt, which can be upgraded, so build lots. You will go through quite a few of these. And the splitter, which I would say use sparingly. You won't go through as many of these. And it also gives you the fast inserter, which can be useful, especially late game. Then I would normally go for the automation. That's just personal preference. I've seen people go straight for the turret. I've seen people go straight for the submachine gun. Now obviously if I'm surrounded by enemies, I want the submachine gun. I want stronger ammo. I want shields. I want to be looking at arming myself to the max. I'm okay on enemies. They are quite close. So I think I'll get my logistics and then I will concentrate on defense. This is just a personal preference, honestly. People do. You play how you want to play. You play depending on your circumstances at the end of the day. So, hooked up that steam engine. So now we've got more than enough power. We're sitting on about a third to about a half, I'd say, when we hit full swing. Although hitting full swing is probably never going to be a big deal. We'll dump down the laboratory there. And to make a laboratory work, so as we can see up in this top right hand corner, it now says logistics and there's a nice black bar. We need these science packs, 1 copper plate, 1 iron gear. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to produce a radar, and that will give us fairly accurate intel on the area surrounding us. I'm going to have a radar down at my power facility, and I'm going to have a radar up at my production facility. Now these draw a lot of power, so although I've just built 2, I'm only going to have 1 active to begin with, and I'm going to churn out 31 red potions, or science pack ones, or whatever you want to call them. At the end of the day, they look like potions. I'm going to call them potions. We'll nab 64 stone from my little stone manufacturing, and we really don't want 12. Right click in on an item, minuses 5 at a time, like building 5 at a time. Right, we'll get down a radar next to my very first science lab. And now if I hit M, it's pretty much the same kind of view, but if I move my character away, which I probably really shouldn't do considering I'm producing science packs right now. So if I hit M again, as you can see, where that radar is, I've got a nice big vision field. And where I am, I've got a smaller, but still quite adequate vision field. So the radar helps me keep an eye on, see when the enemy's attacking, see where they're coming in from, find out where I should shore up defences. On top of that, as you probably saw there, a little square just appeared. The radar will periodically scan the sectors around itself, so this one will uncover next and reveal the map for you rather than you having to go and run and explore it yourself. Kind of handy, but I just like it for the vision, basically. I like to know where my enemies are coming. So we just saw that square just pop up then. So I keep thinking you can move when you're in the map mode and you can't. Let's have a look at the electrical network. Well, there is a power draw, but nothing major. So I will pop down the other radar there. And then that, if I go back into map, gives me quite a healthy view around my factory. It lets me see what's going on, where the enemies are. And hopefully, if they attack, which direction they came from, and all the other vital data really for defending a base. So I produced quite a lot of these red potions, so what I'll do is I'll just drop them in there. And we'll just have a look at the power drain. Power drain's actually getting quite hefty now. Look, the production is maxing out, especially considering I've just activated that. So we'll have a look at making another steam engine. We'll add that onto the one that I've got running at the moment, and maybe looking at making another array of steam engines. I'm hitting that point now where I don't bother just adding 1 steam engine. I'll start looking at making an array of steam engines. So instead of just having 1, 2, then 3, it'll literally go up to 6, then 9, and so on and so forth. It takes the pressure off you having to remember to go back and build them. So as you can see, logistics is now filling up quite nicely thanks to that. But yeah, basically it's just nice. It's nice not to have to keep running backwards and forwards. It's nice. Everything, really. Later on I'll probably replace this with a real network, but I very much doubt it because hopefully by then that copper ore deposit will be depleted. So we'll bring this in here, and this is why I like to research logistics first. I'll be able to cut under there and carry on there. Hopefully. Assuming the bugs don't get me first. So yeah, as you can see, I've now got an engine sitting here doing nothing, so I might as well go attach it to my network and we shall see what happens. Vis-a-vis power. Well, nothing at first because I've also got to get down an electric pole. So there we go. We're sitting about comfortably on half again. We'll have the odd spike, but as you can see, the major draw now is them 2 radars. Them 2 radars are just so hefty on power. I really Generally, I really wouldn't suggest building 2 radars. It annoys the bugs to no end. I might even lose this map because I've built 2 radars. I just wanted to see what would happen if I did. So it's not a good idea to do so, but what am I going to do? Lose? Oh no. I lost. What now? Right. Probably don't need this working anymore. So I'm just going to take this apart now. Its usefulness is I've got more than enough copper sat on me. Copper just... Oh, I've gone back. Oh, there it is. Copper in the beginning of the game is just not useful. And rather than having these sit around doing nothing, I would much rather they were at least doing something, even if I've got to go back and manually top them up. Just gather me as much stone as possible, and then hopefully I'll be able to... Actually, I could probably do that now. That's an idea. What you can do is you know what I am. I'm going to set up inserters around this edge here and there. I'm going to dump a furnace there. I won't have access to steel chests. That's the biggest problem, is I won't have access to steel chests. So I'll have to come and periodically empty this. And we'll have another inserter there. I'm going to need a lot more conveyors. You go through conveyors like mad. Honestly, there's people asking for the conveyors to be powered by electricity. All I can think of is, are you insane? So, well, this authenticity wise, I agree with them. As mad as that makes me sound, I agree with them. Yes, I don't like them being powered by invisible magic, but at the same time, I do wonder why. Why do we have to go to that sort of level of realism? Really. So that'll be my iron out. This will be my copper out. That'll be another inserter, which means my furnace needs to be go there. And this is where I realise I'm off. I'm off by 1. Somewhere along the lines, I'm not counted properly. Actually, yeah, that can go like that. To remove an item, or to harvest anything, or to do basically any kind of action in the game, right click. Honestly, once you hit iron tools, you'll wonder how you did without. I watched a fella play this game once, and he was going on so much about these iron tools, and I was just, okay, whatever, the iron tools, get over yourself. And then I hit iron tools myself, and I just went, oh, right, that's why you like iron tools. I apologise. So, got my logistics network, finally. We'll start looking at automation. So the first thing I'll probably want to do is an underground belt. I'm also going to need to split this coal up. I'm also going to need to split some coal up down there as well, so I might as well build 2 of them. Underground belt. So I'm going to want coal to come in here. I'm actually going to want the iron to come in there as well. Much like I've got copper to go in there like that. Much like I've got the iron set up. This early on in the game, it just simplifies so much stuff. So we'll have that there, and then I'll say split, and there we go. Probably going to need a lot more inserters. We got quite a nice little system set up there now. I just need to get some copper onto this, actually, get this copper working for me. First, we'll get this little workstation here set up. So we're going to want the splitter to go there. Come around here. This is probably not a brilliant idea because it's going to interfere with my power, especially later on. But on the other hand, I don't like to leave a resource node, especially one that's as expansive as this, wasted. So that doesn't quite get everything. That doesn't quite get anything. This is not really an optimal build, but it doesn't need to be optimal, it just needs to work. So there we go. We are now cooking with stone, and we are getting stone bricks as a result. and that will let me build walls. Next one, military. You start off with a pistol. The pistol is pathetic. Do not rely on the pistol. If you rely on the pistol, you are asking to get capped. Energy is still good. One of my biggest flaws in this game is I always seem to run out of energy. Honestly, if you see me running out of energy, I'll say scream, but it's not like I'm going to hear you. You can scream anyhow. Not like it's going to do any harm. Oh, I happen to... not my wood. We'll drop that there. That'll eventually make its way up. And am I actually out of conveyors? I am actually out of conveyors. Actually, do that. Do that. This will give me access... oh. Yeah, not the brightest of players. Now I've set that up like that rather than running it straight down. A, because there's a pole in the way. And B, because this spits out, but it spits out into the middle. And then it goes to the top. So rather than having it mess up and maybe even cause problems with the network later, I try to never ever have it spitting out straight onto a single lane like that. Causes too many problems, too many headaches, especially later on. Right, potions. I need a lot more iron. Got some coal sat on me as well. I don't like that. We'll unload that in a moment. Although it'd probably be helpful if I had got some more inserters first, wouldn't it? Oh, got some there. See, this is why I need to pay attention. I also like the symmetry. I'd say I'm a bit OCD with my symmetry, but I know what OCD is, and I'm not OCD. I'm just someone who likes this symmetry. I've seen OCD in action, and many people say, oh, I've got OCD. No, you're just taking the mic. I'm sorry, you are. Until you've seen a friend or a loved one with OCD, you do not understand OCD. It's very debilitating for them. And I've seen a few people with OCD. I don't mind you saying it in jest. I don't mind, you know, oh yeah, I'm OCD about my books. They've all got to be facing this way. That's fine. I know what you're on about, but it's when people insist they're OCD and all I can think of is, yes, you're OCD. Like I sound like a woman. Whoa. Whatever. Right. I don't want to create 128, but I will create several stacks of 5. We're going to start looking into our first automation line. So as you can see, my coal's starting to back up. My copper even is backing up. I simply don't have enough foundries to deal with the amount of copper I'm putting out. But I will be upgrading my foundries soon, and they do not upgrade elegantly. I'll bring up the technology tree to show you. What I'm aiming for is advanced material processing. And these give me these lovely steel furnaces. They cook faster, by in Factorio 2 literally. They use a bit more coal than the regular furnaces, I think. 180 kilowatts. I don't even think you can see how much the original furnace costs. If we get to the right tab. Oh no, uses the same amount of energy then, just cooks twice as fast. But it doesn't... If we have a look at the recipe for it, obviously I'm doing military at the moment, so that will always crop up. So it requires 8 steel plates and 10 stone bricks. So them stone bricks that I've got cooking are going to become very useful once I get there. But until then, I really don't want to be looking at turning out too many of these foundries, because then these stone furnaces, they're just going to sit there. They're going to do nothing for me late game. Even mid, you know, I'm looking at getting these things up and running early game, let alone mid game. I'm not going to sit around and produce out 15, 20, 30, 40 million furnaces because I want them early game. Nah, we'll wait. We're patient. Right, it looks like we're having a bit of a power problem here. We're only 2/3 full, but I would like that to be a lot lower. I seem to be surrounded by a lot of oil as well, but none of them have significant... Oh, That one's not too bad on the yield. The yield is if it's 221%, that means when you start actually harvesting it, it'll pump out at 2.2, but that will quickly demolish, yes, because the demon's really honest. Actually, oil processing is one of the worst aspects in this game so far. Fun, but by hell one of the worst. I mean, the yield's 1.5, that, if I get that back over, 1.5 units of oil per second, and that will diminish really fast. One of the things I started doing was taking down the oil fields, but I found out the oil doesn't actually deplete, so once it gets down to 0.1 a second, you actually might as well just leave it running and pick up a barrel every couple of cycles with your train. And just don't worry about it, just leave it running, let it keep working for you, because they don't disappear. They sit there looking at you, laughing horribly because you had a 500 odd yield spot and you'd think that would last you forever, and then you go back 2 hours later and it's gone, it's empty, and you're just like, okay, where did all my oil go? Why do I no longer have batteries? I need generators, I need this, I need that, I need the other. You just kind of roll with it, hopefully. So, producing my first set of 5 factories. I'm going to dump off the rest of these red potions, and hopefully that we've got 22 set in there, so that will see us clear military quite easily. I'll have to start looking at something else. Probably go for steel processing, although I could do with a little bit of basic armor. Armor is one thing, I don't mind being redundant. Armor will save your bacon so many times, it is worth it being redundant. Right, I think I will put my, hey, 10 versus 20. Now, see, steel chests are upgradable. I will get as many steel chests as I need. I think I will go with armor just to begin with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you, take you, take you. I am going to stop you there. I'm going to take you, I'm going to take you, I'm going to take you, take you, suck up all this excess coal, because I'm going to want to start steel production, which I should have thought about earlier and I've only kind of just remembered about. Steel requires steel requires well, lots of things really. Let's see if you can guess what they require, because I seem to become dumbfounded. So we'll have a conveyor going that way, and then we want hello. Well, that went through faster than I was expecting. We'll go for steel next, and while my character's doing nothing, we'll get some iron armor. Oh, and we'll get that machine gun, submachine gun, and a bit of ammunition. So that will go there. So steel plates will get loaded onto this belt, and then straight after it, we want it loaded straight into that furnace there. And I'll manually power that furnace to begin with. Strip down the rest of that, and we'll go there as well, just like that. So that will hopefully provide it with enough steel plates to carry on. Obviously I've not unlocked steel furnace yet, so that's just going to kind of sit there being a bit redundant, but I've got it set up now, ready and waiting. Have a quick harvest. So as I said, I think I will have all my laboratories coming down this edge here. It looks like empty, wasted space. There's a bit of stone, but it's not. That looks nice. That looks like a nice area. I normally build 10 labs in total. Later on, they're useful. Early on, not so much. You will quite easily burn through it. So what we'll do is, I just didn't have enough red potions, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that will give me my 10 labs.